Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and I'm here with Sheriff Matthew Wade, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Merry Christmas, Sheriff.
Hey, Merry Christmas. It's my favorite time of the year. You know, there's been Thanksgiving kind of kicks it off, but you know what really kicks it off for me is
What's that?
Christmas parades.
Christmas parades.
Christmas parades. We had Jacksonville's last week that we were in, and it was wonderful. People everywhere was throwing out candy. Tonight, which is today is Tuesday, December the 7th, and Anniston's is tonight. Oxford's is the I'm sorry, today's the 7th.
Yes.
So today is Oxford. I mean Anniston. I'm getting all mixed up.
It's Anniston tonight.
Then tonight is Oxford's. Yep. Saturday is Piedmont's and Webster's Chapel. And I don't want to be remiss. I don't normally do this, but December the 6th was my mother's birthday, so I want to wish my mother a happy birthday. And the 9th is my wife, so I need to get both of those a happy birthday. Since my mother lives in Sylacauga, they can actually watch this show all across Alabama, so I'm going to have to call and tell her I wished her a happy birthday.
Happy birthday to the Mrs. Wades.
That's right.
The Mrs. Wades. And your folks have done a great job this past week of saying happy holidays.
Brings our count up to 3 arrests, 4,893 people arrested, all because somebody was willing to get involved. I had somebody call me this morning and tell me where somebody was that's on our show from last week. So we really appreciate those, and it makes our community safer and builds relationships.
Outstanding. Well, folks, we're going to take a break. You're going to see the first half of the lineup, but stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.
Scammers are now taking advantage of people's increased economic anxiety. One of the latest ploys is to phone unsuspecting victims and pose as representatives of utility companies. A scammer may identify themselves as your local power company. They may be able to identify your account number and even your name and address, but that does not mean they are legitimate. They may claim you are past due and your services are about to be shut off. Do not let the implied seriousness of this call frighten you into making a quick decision to pay. Instead, hang up the phone, then contact your local utility company directly using the phone number listed on your bill or on their website. Speak with a representative to check on your account. Never give your banking information over the phone unless you have placed the call yourself to a phone number that you know is correct. Utility companies do not demand your banking information by email or phone. They will not force you to pay over the phone as your only option. Any reputable company will never request payment by gift card, reloadable cash card, wiring money, or cryptocurrency. Some of the requested cards could be MoneyPack, Vanilla, Google, eBay, Amazon, or even an iTunes card. But you should know that there are still many more variety of cards the scammer could suggest that you use. If they ask for payment in any form of these cards, it is a scam. For more information, you can go to ftc.gov or call me, Nancy Hilton, at the Calhoun County Sheriff's Office at 256-236-6600.
Welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up in our lineup this week, Jacob Anderson. Mr. Anderson, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of marijuana first. And take a look at Devontae Joe. Mr. Joe, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted for failure to appear on a firearm altercation of identification marks. And this is Russell Wharf. Mr. Wharf, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and breaking and entering a vehicle. We'd like you to meet Jonathan Smith. Mr. Smith, last known to be living in Talladega. He's wanted on a probation violation for receiving stolen property first. And meet Ulysses Taylor. Mr. Taylor, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance. And this is Jay Dooley. Mr. Dooley, last known to be living in Lacey Springs, Alabama, wanted for failure to appear on obstruction of justice using false ID and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Meet Brandon Neighbors. Mr. Neighbors, last known to be living in Anniston. He's wanted on a probation violation for receiving stolen property first. And that's it for the first half of the lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in the lineup and you know where they are. And if you do, call the Crime Stoppers number or call Sheriff Matthew Wade directly, and he will give them some place to stay for the holidays. We are here with Mike Gagliardo, the godfather of music. Mike
That may be a little bit of a stretch.
You're always the godfather to me.
Take it.
So, music director for the Etowah County Youth Orchestra.
Yes.
Yes, so tell us about that.
Well, the EYO is a program that's been around since 1990. And even though it's the Etowah Youth Orchestras, we actually work with students from Etowah County, all 6 of the counties that border Etowah County, and we've worked with students from as far away as Jefferson County, Madison County, and Cleburne County.
Wow.
So this is kind of a regional youth orchestra program. It's made up of 2 primary components. One is a school component where we go into the Etowah County and Etowah City schools and teach 5th and 6th graders 1st and 2nd year string instruction.
Okay.
Wow.
And then you've got the after school program, which is the program that people are more familiar with. That's the Youth Symphony Orchestra, the Youth Philharmonic Orchestra, the groups where we get the students who come to us from all of the band and orchestra programs and meet once a week to rehearse and perform. And there's some outstanding young musicians throughout this region, and we're very fortunate to have a program like this for them to participate in.
It's so important for schools to have arts programs, and music is wonderful. Now, the sheriff, I remember when you had a violin.
I had a violin. I wasn't successful with that. I've got a guitar too. I can do a little bit with it, but as you say, we was talking before, enough to be dangerous.
That's right.
But I do play
right.
the bagpipes. I had a wonderful instructor who's in the audience today, and you know, having somebody to teach you is paramount. And one thing that Dave told me, he said, you know, I won't charge you a thing if you don't waste my time. So I don't guess I'll waste his time. He's never sent me a bill.
There you go.
But there's no quick fix. There's no easier way around it, except to go out, learn, and play and practice.
Yeah, that's right. And our program really starts with the school music programs. You know, if it weren't for the school music programs, we wouldn't even be here. All of us who are staff members of the youth orchestra were products of school music programs. I started band in 5th grade, and my colleagues, one of them started flute in 4th grade, and the other one, who is a cello player, he was a part of our program. He actually started with us in our elementary school program and came all the way up through, went to JSU, got a degree in music education, and is now one of our directors in our program. So the school music programs are crucial. They're the reason we exist, and because we've got so many great school band and orchestra directors, you know, that's why we're here.
And we're lucky to have JSU here,
Absolutely.
nearby to all of those counties.
That's
they have
right.
a great music and great theater program. And so, how many students are you impacting, do you think?
So we work with, between the in-school and the after-school program, we work with about 300 students a year.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a big number. A lot of people are surprised by that number, but in the school program alone, we'll reach over 175, almost 200 students annually. And then the after-school program with the more advanced students, you know, that's 100 to 125 every year. And it's a great range. You know, as music educators ourselves, we get the opportunity to work with students on all levels, and we get the opportunity to see them from the very beginning of their careers all the way up to when they graduate from high school and move on to whatever that next step is.
So how many in the youth orchestra?
So in the Youth Symphony Orchestra, the orchestra proper, there are about 50 members in that group. And it's a full symphony orchestra with strings, winds, brass, and percussion. There's a middle orchestra that's also a full symphony orchestra that's about 30, 35 members. There's an intermediate string orchestra that is about 20 members. And they're all great groups, and they're all working on different levels of skill and ability, but very talented students.
And do you have some, oh, well, we're, there it is. We're going to take a little break, and we'll come back and we'll talk more about your youth symphony, the programs, and how music is great for youth. So Stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Corey Davis. Mr. Davis, last known to be living in Oxford, wanted for probation violation on possession of a controlled substance, failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance, obstruction of justice by using a false ID, possession of marijuana second-hand use, and possession of drug paraphernalia. And this is Jeremy Vowell. Mr. Vowell, last known to be living in Alexandria. He's wanted for failure to appear on a burglary third. And meet Terry Moore. Mr. Moore, last known to be living in Huntsville. He's wanted for failure to appear on obstruction of justice using a false ID and attempted theft of property and attempted to elude. Meet Colton Lambert. Mr. Lambert, last known to be living in Piedmont. He's wanted on failure to appear for assault second. And we'd like you to take a look at Betty Culver. Miss Culver, last known to be living in Florence. She's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property third. This is Keandra Morgan. Mr. Morgan, last known to be living in Anniston, wanted for probation violation, robbery third, and failure to appear on a possession of a controlled substance. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call at 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup and you know where they are. Give the sheriff a call. We're here with Mike Gagliardo, godfather of music for the Etowah County Youth Symphony Orchestra. So, music great. Music is as important to school as the sports programs. It teaches teamwork.
It teaches. So right? I think everybody should be introduced to a musical instrument. Whether some people flourish and some people might say it's not for me, but I still think everybody should be introduced to it. And but we were talking, music has a lot of different things, especially if you're going to play with other people.
That's exactly right. There are a lot of leadership, organization, teamwork skills that come with being a part of a musical ensemble.
You have to work together.
You have to be able to work together.
You can't be apart.
No.
You got to work as a team.
You have to be able to work as a team, and you have to have a certain amount of dedication. You can come in with our program, with our after-school program. We were talking about this. You can come in, audition for, let's say, the first level of string orchestra, and as long as you stay a member in good standing, which means you're doing your part as a member of the team, you can stay in that ensemble until you graduate from high school. But if you want to get promoted up to the next level and then to the top level, then you have to do more work, both individually and as a part of the team.
And that's indicative to how jobs are.
That's right.
I tell people that work for me that want to be promoted, I say, well, you're auditioning for your promotion every day you come to work.
That's exactly right.
So when it comes time for the opportunity, you've been auditioning for however long you've been with us. So coming and saying you're going to do something different than what you did is not. The point is you have to come, you have to do your part. If you want to do more, you got to do more.
That's right. That's right.
So, have you had any proteges that you found that are just remarkable, stand out? So tell us.
It's interesting. We see, again, 300 students a year. So we've seen thousands of young musicians over the course of the time that the youth orchestra program has been around. A majority of them do not go into music as a profession, which is the thing that a lot of people think, that only the youth orchestra is only for somebody who's going to pursue a career in music, and that's really not the case. The youth orchestra is an organization that's there for any young musician who has an interest and just wants to be more involved with the music program. Now, we've got some great ones out there. We've got a guy named D. Sharp, who is an electric violinist who is out in Los Angeles and is just all over the place. But we know him as Derek Gleaton, who graduated from Anniston High School and was principal viola in the Youth Symphony Orchestra. Wow. He's a big recognizable name. Our younger kids all know who D. Sharp is from his presence on social media. But then again, there are people in the community. For example, we were talking a little bit about my stepdaughter, who is a court reporter at the the Calhoun County Courthouse, who the first time I met her, she was auditioning as a clarinet player for the youth orchestra. So both people in music, Desmond Mitchell, the band director at Anniston High School, is an alumnus of our program, and people who didn't necessarily pursue music have that background with the youth orchestra program. And I think the biggest thing that we can do is provide the appreciation and the lifelong love of what we do.
So somebody comes along and they want to be at that first tier. They just elementary school, I guess. They can start and they audition and you accept them. Can they progress as their skill allows them to progress, or is it an age thing?
Absolutely. They progress as their skill allows them to progress and as they wish to progress. So it's not really governed by age, it's governed by ability. So the mix of students in the program.
As is real life.
Exactly.
It's not about age or necessarily seniority of being somewhere for a long period of time. It's about ability. And that's what employers look for. Once again, there's so many parallels that you're teaching young people how to be successful in life. So.
Exactly.
Now, of course, the arts aren't free, and the Youth Symphony is a nonprofit. What?
We're a project of the Gadsden Cultural Arts Foundation. We are a nonprofit organization, and as such, we have earned income, but we also appreciate the many members of the community, organizations, and individuals who are donors and supporters of the work that we do. And you can always visit the Etowah Youth Orchestra's Facebook page or culturalarts.com and find out more information about becoming a contributor or a supporter of the EYO.
And so EYO has its concert season, right? Holiday season's usually a big thing. So what do you guys have coming up?
We are doing a traditional holiday pops concert this year, which is going to feature some great traditional holiday music, including an audience sing-along. We're going to do some holiday movie music from Christmas Vacation and How the Grinch Stole Christmas,
all right,
and Polar Express. We're going to do some Mannheim Steamroller Christmas selections, and that's on Thursday, December 16th. And that's a 7 p.m. performance at Rainbow Presbyterian Church in Rainbow City, Alabama.
Outstanding. Well, Mike, thank you for being on our show today and talking about the Youth Symphony. And folks, stay with us. We'll be back with the Crazy Criminal and the Crime Stoppers portion of our show here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, where we have a couple of cases for you to take a look at. First up, on November 30th, a report was filed for burglary at this residence on Teals Trail in Piedmont. 3 boxes of costume jewelry, Star Wars memorabilia, a box fan, and numerous tools, among other items, were taken from that location. And on December 2nd, an unknown person entered a home on Laverne Drive in Alexandria. This person quickly left when they realized that the homeowner was still inside. And that's it for the Crime Stoppers portion. If you have any information on these cases, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
It's that time again, Sheriff. Crazy criminal.
The craziness never stops.
No, it never
Never
stops.
stops. And in Chicago, put our picture up. This is Lafayette Moore. He's 35 years old. Lafayette was in Chicago, and he's going through a parking lot of a convenience store where somebody had gotten out and left their car running, which is I do not recommend. Lafayette says he appreciates you leaving it running, but he doesn't recommend you do that either if you wish to keep it. So the car was running, he gets in and takes it, steals it, and a couple blocks later, there's a traffic accident, and a Chicago police officer is working that accident, and he sitting there, and Lafayette comes up in a stolen car, and he asks the officer for directions.
Oh, nice.
So,
Yeah.
Lafayette, not normally being a driver, now has a car, and he wasn't really sure how to drive around. He asked the police officer for directions. The officer realized that it matched the BOLO, which means be on the lookout for, of a stolen car, and hence arrested Lafayette for the stolen vehicle. So he didn't get very far with it, which most people who commit crimes don't go very far with it. So just don't do it, but don't help Lafayette and his partners out by leaving your car unlocked and running.
Yes, and it's that season where people are going to grocery store shopping. They're going Christmas shopping, and they're in their
Hide it, lock
car.
it, keep it. Don't put stuff in your cars people can see.
Yep. Put your presents in the trunk so nobody can see them, and then don't leave valuables in your car overnight.
That's right.
And do what to your car when you park it in the driveway?
Lock it.
Lock it
Almost,
tight.
About 99% of all vehicles that are broken into are broken into because they were unlocked.
Yeah, they come down your street and they're just playing with doorknobs until
They do, and it happened to me. I'm preaching to the choir. Back in May, I thought I had locked my vehicle, and I didn't, and somebody got into it and got something. It hurt my feelings tremendously, but you got to make sure they're locked each and every night.
Well, stay alert, be alert, come to the Christmas parades.
Yeah, come to the Christmas parades. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, and please, we hope to see you again next week, but not in the lineup here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.